I'm Dylan, and welcome to Twisted Wrench Garage. Welcome back to another episode of Twisted Wrench Garage. This week, we're getting back to work on old project Black Pearl. I know some of you guys may not know of that project. Here's a little refresher. I'll throw in some clips of the walk around of whenever I first showed it off to you guys. Right now, it's parked in between some vehicles, so it'll be kind of hard to show you guys a good walk around, so I'll put that clip in there. All right, there she is. The truck itself, really straight, other than, you know, that grill being a little messed up there. Don't really see a whole lot of body damage on the sides. There's not a whole lot of rust. Sorry for the highway noise. We're next to a highway. His shop is right next to it. But it is a long bed step side, which from my understanding are a little harder to find, and let alone that this is a factory black truck. And it is a Royal SE model, which means it came with all the bells and whistles. 150 Ram Royal SE. Good lower trim. The bed looks really clean. No rust that I can tell. It has a couple flats. He pulled it out yesterday. Go ahead and get the round of it here. You can see my Sonic drink up there. I had to stop the Sonic, get something to drink. But, I mean, you guys can see it's a really, really clean truck. I mean, not a whole lot of rust on it anywhere. We'll get a look in the inside here in just a minute. But, it's her. The wind is really bad right now, too. I'm sorry, guys. Here's the inside. It's definitely seen some wear. You know, definitely could use some paint, some interior paint, some cleanup. You know, it has been sitting a while. We'll go over how long it's been sitting here in just a second. It's a little dirty. You got some of the bolts and stuff from the transmission being pulled out. We got some miscellaneous stuff over there. The seat itself, I was able to look at it, and it does have some damage right here. But from my understanding, is it's a black seat. There's the other door panel. All the glass is good. I don't see any cracks in the windshield. We'll find out about the seals once it rains and such. Because this rig here, I think I've decided that this is going to be a work rig for sure. I'm not going to lower this truck. It's going to keep it factory height. I think this is going to be the one that's going to haul our stuff home. But if you guys can see, right there, 2002. So this truck has been sitting the exact same amount of time as Project Ramona. So has a lot in common there. That's the truck. Thought I'd share it with you guys. I'll show you that top. It's not rusted or anything. It's just showing the primer through. Maybe a little bit of surface rust. But overall, it is a good looking truck. There you go. But last week or the week before, I'm not quite sure when, all this stuff's kind of mixing into each other, but last week or the week before, I came out and kind of stripped this motor of all of its accessories. Took the water pump off, took all the accessories off, disconnected the transmission from it, and put it on the engine stand. basically got to where we are to this point. Yesterday I came out, I took a wire wheel to the block, cleaned it up, started getting it prepped for some of the paint that I want to put on it. I want to go with a gold block. I think I'm going to go with gold on the oil pan as well. And then I've got some old school Mickey Thompson valve covers that I'm going to throw on that I think I might polish up and do some sort of black and gold with as well. We'll have to see. That'll be a little bit later. That's going to take some more work. But what I've done today was started taping off my exhaust ports. I'm taping off the water pump housing itself. And I'm going to show you guys how I get these clean edges here. But we're going to start getting it primed, getting it prepped, and getting it ready for the gold paint that I've got. I don't have a gold engine paint. I couldn't find any at the local stores around me, so what I went ahead and did was picked up some gold wheel paint. Supposedly it's good for up to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, so I guess we'll put it to the test. Why not? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go probably 3 or 4 good coats of engine coat primer, high heat primer, and then I'm going to go with that gold, and then I'm going to go with a high heat clear coat to go over that. Hopefully that'll kind of protect it all and make it, you know, last a while. But I did go ahead and took a wire brush, like I said, knocked off some of the heavy stuff, kind of got it prepped and cleaned. I went through and sprayed some brake cleaner on it as well. You guys can see some of the dirt and oils and stuff that came off of it. From that, I'm going to do another spray of some lacquer thinner on it to make sure that there's no residue or anything like that on it. I'm also going to possibly go ahead and take a torch to the block, and I will show you guys why. When you take a torch to them, what you're doing is you can actually see the moisture getting cooked out of it. It'll actually wick it out of the block, because you want to try to get the block as moisture free and as grease free as possible. That way you get the best possible adhesion for your paint. So let me get you guys in a position. I'll show you guys how I get the taping done on the water pump and how I get that clean edge all around it here, just using a hammer. So what I'm going to do, I've got you just in my other hand, so I'm just doing this one-handed. What I'm going to do is I've got it taped off. I'm just going to take a little hammer. I'm just going to slowly tap all around the edge just to get me my line. And when you're doing this, you kind of hit and push at the same time, and that'll kind of give you a cut in the tape. You just go all the way around. And I still have to tape off the fuel pump as well. But we just go around like this, giving it some taps. And then after you've done it enough, let me set this up here. You should be able to pull it off just like that. Didn't get down here as good, so I'm just gonna tear that part. But as you can tell, I mean, that's a really good method of getting a really clean cut on your taping edge. Yeah, I could have threw the water pump back on here, but I wanted to show you guys this trick when it comes to the taping method that I like to use. That way I can get some nice good lines on my paint jobs. I still need to do the same thing for this fuel pump here, so I'll go ahead and get that taken care of, and then I'll bring you guys back so we can get to going on finishing, getting it cleaned off and getting it primed. All right, another method that I like to use, like if I'm getting into like these tighter areas where obviously I can't get a hammer in there, I'll take a screwdriver and just with the flat edge end, you just rub that like that on the edge, and it should cut it for you. So did that, and all I gotta do is just pull this off. Just like that, we got some good lines. A little bit messed up right there, but not too big a deal. That looks good. So I'll keep those areas nice and clean for when we paint it. All right, so got some lacquer thinner here in this little pressure pot here. I've already gone over it once just with it. I'm just gonna give it another spritz. I'm gonna make sure I get all the oils and stuff off of it. That way when we paint it, everything will stick nice and good to it. Might have to add some more air to this thing. Make sure we get it clean. There we go. Apparently I wasn't pushing it very well. Alright. Hit the back real quick. Alright, I'm just going to let this air dry now. And then I'll go over it with some primer. Alright guys, so I changed my plans a little bit. Went ahead and pulled this valve cover and that valve cover. Bolts, I went ahead and pulled all those free. Give you guys the first look with me underneath these things and find out the health of this engine. Went ahead and pulled the carburetor too. I am going to go ahead and pull this intake manifold as well. As you guys can tell, it's really dirty. So I think I'm going to take it off, clean it. I want to go ahead and replace the gaskets on it, get that taken care of. So, I'm going to pull that off. Take a look. Looks pretty good, actually. Looks real good. Get to that passenger side. Set this down. Get to the passenger side. Let's take a look at that side. Alright, just the same. Looks really good and clean. Inside the intake manifold looks real good too. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting this intake manifold pulled off, and then I'll bring you back. Alright, got all the bolts out, got this intake broke free. Go ahead and lift this off of here since I can with one hand, since it's aluminum. Man, that thing is still got a little bit of weight to it, but pretty nice. That's nice and light. That looks pretty clean in there. Looking pretty good. So now we just need to clean up these surfaces. Probably gonna pull this distributor out. I can go make sure I can get it real clean. All right, just cleaning this area up. Got some towels down inside here, so when I clean this area, I'll get all that crap down inside my valley. Definitely don't want any crap falling down inside your engine here. See, and I can even just throw it down in there and get it later. See if we can get this gasket off of here. Yeah, I think I'm happy I pulled that off. I'm definitely going to want to replace this gasket. It's pretty brittle. So I'm just going to go through this process. A lot of this stuff I haven't been recording just because a lot of it is just clean up and those kind of things. I used so much RTV on this, it went down inside that exhaust port there. Or the transfer pipe port, or whatever the heck it is. And this is what I've been doing the past few days, just cleaning. And that's not a whole lot of fun to watch. Alright guys, we got this all cleaned up. Used a wire wheel on the grinder there, clean all this up. our valleys up, cleaned up the other side. This is why I like putting these rags in here, because then you can just fold it up like this, and then you can just dispose of that right there and not have all that gunk get down inside there. I did pull the distributor, stuck a rag down in there, kind of keep that area clean. So right now I'm going to take an air hose, I'm going to blow off all this just to make sure there's nothing that is free in there, and then we'll kind of move on from there. All right guys, we're back out here working on this 360 for my truck, Black Pearl. Been coming out here getting it all prepped for paint, as you guys saw. I just kind of loosely put these on here. I'm gonna end up pulling these back off while I paint it. I'm gonna prime it. I'm gonna go over the colors and stuff that I've got. One of the things I wanted to show you is before I paint this, yesterday, like you saw, I went through, cleaned it, got it relatively oil free with the acetone and brake clean. Kind of cleaned all that kind of stuff up, blew it off with an air gun, and then, you know, usually you would think, oh, let's go ahead and throw some paint on it. But Uncle Tony's Garage, I'm a big fan of his. He does a lot of cool Mopar stuff. He showed a trick that I think is really awesome, and I wanted to show it with you guys as well if you guys haven't seen it. So let me get into position, I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so what I've got here is I've just got a regular propane torch. Keep in mind, this engine block has been sitting here drying overnight, and this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to put the torch to it, and you can see it'll start to wick that moisture out. You'll see that it has a little ring around it. And all I'm doing is I'm just cooking the moisture out of the block, because the blocks are very porous, so they hold a lot of moisture. So I'm just going to go through this real quick and just kind of go over the whole deal, get all that moisture wicked out of the block. That way I know that I'm going to get a really good adhesion. And no oils or anything are going to keep me from making sure this is going to last. Now this is definitely going to work better. Oh, my torch went out. But this is definitely going to work better on the areas that don't have paint and you're just hitting the actual iron block. But I'm just going to quickly go over this with this torch, and then we'll start getting ready to start laying some paint. All right guys, I went ahead and got that whole process taken care of. I went over the whole thing. Pretty cool process to watch whenever you're doing it, because you get to see that ring start and then it spread as you're getting that moisture out of the block. It's really cool process. But we're about to get ready to start painting. What I'm going to be using is some engine primer. Engine enamel primer, high temp. I'm gonna go with that first. I've got a few cans of that. I'm gonna go with probably, you know, 2, 3, maybe even 4 layers of it, because I'm going to be going with this gold wheel coating. It does state that it is good for up to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, but that's the only gold paint that I could find at the store when I was up there, so that's what we're running. Then I'm gonna run a gloss clear high heat temp up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. That'll be our final coating, and I'll probably do another 2, maybe 3 coatings of that. But I'm going to start with the primer. I'm going to lay a light coat first just to get us a base going. Then it's going to need to sit for about 15-20 minutes. Then we'll go ahead and we'll throw another heavier coat on, and we'll continue that process from there, and eventually we'll get to that color, and then we'll get to our clear. All right, I've been shaking this can up for a few minutes now. We're just gonna, like I said, we're gonna start with a light coat. I'm gonna get a piece of cardboard when we get up to this section up here to kind of cover that, and then I'll be painting right along that edge there. So let's I guess let's get started. Like I said, we're just doing a light coat first. Just gonna worry about this bottom half first, and then I'll get that cardboard. All right. Not my wrench there. Don't want to paint that. I try to get all those nooks and crannies in there. Still got some orange showing. Got a little bit of paint there. I think I'm gonna take a little bit of time there and get that chipped off of there. I don't want it chipping the rest. Alright, that's probably light enough there. Alright, let me go grab a piece of cardboard so I can hit the upper portion of these heads. Alright, got my cardboard. Just gonna set this up like that. And we'll get those cylinder heads. Alright, move to this back side over here. There's a little lip that shows here. I think I'm going to go ahead and, if I can get my hand to sit still, just kind of give that a little quick. There we go. Alright, let's get this other side. May not be able to see this side as well, because it's a little darker over here. Alright, let me, as you seem to hit this front. I'm gonna hit this side too. Cardboard isn't necessarily straight. It's kind of being a pain. There we go. All right, I'm gonna let that sit for about 15-20 minutes, and I'll come in and I'll give it another coat. I didn't really get down in there very well. I didn't hit the pulley very well, so I need to hit that too. Pulley I'm not too worried about. It's not going to be perfect. A lot of this isn't going to be seen. Grab the underneath of it. That's our harmonic balancer. The pulley I'll wire wheel and paint separately, like I did with Big Blue. Just trying to make sure I hit all those tight reach areas. I said I was done with it, but as you can tell, have to touch up a little bit. I'm running out in this can. But like I said, we'll let that sit and cure for about 15-20 minutes, and we'll come in and we'll do another coat. And we'll make it a little thicker of a coat that time. All right, guys, while that primer's drying, I got the third coat on. It's starting to cool down a little bit, so I went ahead, got this all set up out here. I'm gonna get this cleaned. I've got some super purple or power purple, whatever the heck it's called. I've got that diluted here in this bottle. I'm gonna spray that down and brush it real good with these brushes. First things first, I want to get the heavy dirt off right now. Man, that is really stained. Alright, well, that's as good as I'm going to get all the high stuff off. Spray it down. Spray the whole thing down. Alright, I'm gonna let that sit for a few minutes, let it kind of do its magic. Alright guys, so I did do a little bit of scrubbing with that super purple, let it sit for a while. I sprayed it again, let it sit again. It is working. I do have some of this oven cleaner here, and I have heard some good things about using it. I'm going to try it out. I heard you don't want to leave it on there too long though, because it can leave some marks, so we'll put it to the test. Why not? We'll spray this bad boy down. You can see that's foaming up real nice. Hopefully it'll work at getting that stuff off of here. Alright, well, let's let that sit. Alright, I scrubbed it a little bit with that brake or that oven cleaner on. Let's see how it did. I'm recording. All right, that worked a lot better. So I think I'm going to do that method again. I'm going to spray it again with that oven cleaner, scrub it again, because this backside came out really nice. So if I can get that front side looking like that and the rest of it looking good, should be good to go. There's the intake manifold. That's as clean as I could get it. It's still wet right now. I feel like I'm going to end up having to paint it. I'm not going to be able to get all that staining out, and they do make a cast aluminum paint, so I think I may go that route on this. Got to let this dry. You can always just use an air hose, blow it off, or just let it dry freely. I'll probably blow it with some air before I take off, and I might take it home with me and paint it at home. But the primer on the block is fully dried. It's ready for some color. So let's get to throwing some gold on this engine. All right, let's throw some color. All right, guys, so I just laid the first coat of clear on. I put 2-3 coats of that gold on, as you guys saw. Put this clear on. This is the first coat of clear. I'm laying it on kind of light at first, and then I'm gonna go just a little bit heavier on the second coat. I'm gonna use what I have here to finish it off, but it's coming out really good. I really like the way it looks. It's nice and shiny. Definitely looking good. All right, guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the second coat of clear on now. It's been sitting for about 10-15 minutes. This is gonna be the final coat of the clear, and then we'll be done with the paint job on the block itself. We'll have to move on to the valve covers, and like I said, we're probably gonna end up painting that intake manifold, so let's get this finished. Oh, forgot my cardboard. Uh-oh. Put a little too much of that clear on there. Clear spray is pretty different. It sprays very wet. And all right. Last coat. Yeah, you got to watch the areas where it can pile up, because that's where you'll get your runs. But if we have one or two, not a big deal.
Dylan?
Yes, sir.
Seems to be that you're going to make a career out of painting that motor gold.
Yes, sir.
It will not be worth its weight in gold just because it's gold.
Starting to run out of clear on this can. Well, there it is, all painted. Got the valve covers just loosely set up on there again. Just kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. Still getting some ideas of how I'm going to paint these valve covers. I think I'm going to do it black on the inside, and then I'm going to do gold ribs, and then we're going to have something here, I think it's going to say black pearl right there. Man, it's coming together. I'm gonna leave that center taped up just so nothing gets down in there, because I still have to work on that intake manifold. But yeah, it's looking a lot better. Well, it's looking good. It looked good to begin with, but it wasn't the color that I wanted to go with on the truck, so yeah, it's gonna look good. I really like it. Now on the intake manifold, I did try to get it as clean as I can. I did consider painting it with the cast aluminum paint they sell, but I am gonna try one more thing, I think, and I think that's gonna be something that's gonna be a next week's video. But I think I'm gonna bead blast this, try to get it looking nice and new again. So we'll see how that turns out, but it should be good to go once we get that done. Well, guys, that's gonna do it for this episode. We didn't get a whole lot done, but we got something done. The engine's looking really good. I really like the way that gold came out. Thought it was gonna come out darker, lighter. I mean, it was very up and down. I wasn't quite sure how it was going to turn out, but I am happy with the way it turned out. I think once we get these valve covers all polished up and get the paint on them, you know, we got all of our accessories on, get those painted and get those done. I still need to find a breather that'll match these valve covers. I have one in mind, just haven't snagged it yet. Got to get an order in for some parts, water pump, all that kind of stuff, gaskets, etc. Then we can start working on getting the transmission slapped up to this girl, and we can get this slapped into the truck. But again, that is it for this episode of Twisted Wrench Garage. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We'll check you guys out on the next video.